Hey friends, welcome back to It Makes Sense, where we take the confusion of life, faith, culture, and the brain and bring it into focus through the lens of the Christian worldview. Today's episode is a quick snapshot, but a powerful one, because I want to ask you something you may not have considered. What if spiritual disciplines aren't just soul work? What if they're also neurological? Let's talk about it. Most people hear the phrase spiritual disciplines, prayer, worship, scripture, silence, and immediately think about spiritual things, heart things, eternal things, and they should. But what if every time you choose gratitude over grumbling, or silence over distraction, or truth over lies, you're not just doing spiritual formation, you're actually rewiring your brain? In Philippians 4:4-9, Paul gives us a passage that might be the most spirit-breathed case for neuroplasticity long before modern science ever caught up. Let me remind you what he says. Rejoice in the Lord always. Do not be anxious. Present your requests to God. Think about whatever is true, honorable, just, pure, lovely, and the God of peace will be with you. Now that was a quick, short little summary of that passage. But that's not casual advice. That's a training plan for your mind. See, a lot of people think the mind is like a blank slate, that it can just be still. But both scripture and psychology agree it doesn't work that way. Your mind doesn't sit idle. It either moves toward the spirit or toward the flesh. It either becomes conformed to the world or transformed by truth. And if you're not steering it, it slips into what psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi calls psychic entropy, the swirl of chaos that happens when our attention is unanchored. Fear, shame, resentment, lust. Sound familiar? It's not because your brain is broken. It's because your brain is built to form patterns. And right now, it might just be following the wrong ones. Let me give you a metaphor. Picture a dirt road. The first time you drove down it, you leave tracks. Drive it again and again. Eventually, ruts form. Now, try steering out of those ruts. Not easy, right? That's your brain. Every repeated thought, reaction, or sin carves a deeper groove, and before long, you're not even thinking about it, the truck just goes there. But here's the good news. God designed your brain to be plastic. That means new ruts can be formed, and Paul gives us a pattern for how. First, rejoice always. Not because you feel like it, but because joy is a choice, a repeated one. Second, pray instead of worry. Bring everything to God with gratitude. Third, focus your thoughts, not on what's wrong, but on what's true, pure, lovely, etc. Fourth, practice the habits. Don't just hear the truth, live it. And lastly, abide in His presence. Paul ends with this, and the God of peace will be with you. Not just peace, God Himself. That's not just mental health, that's spiritual transformation. So let me say this. Spiritual disciplines are not just boxes to check. They are grace-fueled pathways that rewire your inner world. They break cycles of shame and fear and train your mind to dwell in the presence of God. As Brother Lawrence said centuries ago, we must, quote, practice the presence of God, unquote. That's not just prayer time. That's training our consciousness, our awareness to return to Christ again and again until even our thought life starts to look like Him. If you're stuck in the same mental patterns, fear, frustration, distraction, I want you to know two things. You're not alone, first of all, and you're not stuck. God created your brain with the capacity to change. He gave you His Spirit to empower it, and He gave you practices, rejoicing, praying, thinking, practicing, not to burden you, but to renew you. So just take one step today. One thought, one prayer, one redirection. Start the new path, walk it again tomorrow and the next day. Eventually the road will change and the God of peace will be with you. I will have more episodes in a series coming up on Philippians 4:4-9. I truly believe that it is the cure for not just anxiety, but just for our minds being more in tuned and transformed to the mind of Christ. If this episode helped you see your habits or your mind a little differently, do me a favor. Like it, share it, subscribe so you don't miss part 2 where we go even deeper into the battle for your consciousness and what it really means to set your mind on Christ. You can also find the written version of this teaching and others like it on my Substack at dannytippett.substack.com. That's TIPPIT, same backwards as forwards. Yes, that's a palindrome. And thanks for listening to It Makes Sense, where the Christian worldview doesn't just explain the world, it changes you. And God bless.